Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Swiss Talk with Lausanne. We hope you're doing well, and we'd also like to thank you all for your time to join us here today. A very warm welcome to each one of you from wherever you're dialing in from. I believe we have from the US, Canada, Switzerland, and even from Japan, I believe. So for those of you who don't know us yet, we're all three based here in New York City. My name is Caroline, and with me I have Maite and Fabia, who is Natalie's successor. Fabia, would you like to quickly introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Caroline, and a very warm welcome also from my side to our Swiss Talk today. I'm very excited to be a part of the Swiss CVB team here in New York City. I finished my internship end of June in the trade department of Switzerland Tourism and had the great opportunity to stay in the company, to continue working in New York City, and also to be a part of the team of Caroline and Maite. I'm from the countryside from Switzerland. I'm from the town called Bubendorf. It's a really small town in the canton of Basel-Land. And I would also like to share my favorite place in Switzerland with you. I discovered that place when I studied in Chur, when I lived in the canton of Grisons. And after long university days, I love to go to the Lake Cresta, which is a crystal clear lake surrounded by mountains about 30 minutes away from Chur. And yeah, I loved going there to recharge my battery. And I will definitely go back again once I visit Switzerland again.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Fabia. And we're so happy to have been able to keep you here in New York and that you have settled in so well already. So the three of us are basically here to assist you with whatever we can. We are your one-stop shop for all you need for any of your business events to Switzerland, and are happy to assist you through the RFP process or anything Swiss related you may have.
Before we begin, let's quickly go through some technical details in case you are new to our Swiss Talks. Our aim is to make the next 30 minutes fun and entertaining and ask you to change your chat box settings to send to all panelists and all attendees so everyone sees your comments and questions and we can engage with each other. And we also appreciate you having sent us your questions in the registration form of the Swiss Talk for today, which we are happy to cover. And this session is recorded and we will send you the recording tomorrow.
Thank you. And yes, Switzerland is open, and we know it's difficult to stay updated with travel and country regulations. Well, as we said, Switzerland opened to North America on June 26th, and we'll give you further information on the actual current situation in Switzerland at the end of this talk show. So stay tuned for that. And now you may be wondering what the current flight accessibility is. Fabia, do you have an update on that?
Yes, sure. We have some good news that many airlines, including Swiss International Airlines, has expanded schedules and reintroduced long-haul routes that were recently not served, such as Boston, LA, or Miami. And we hope that more will follow soon as well. And for Canadians, the Air Canada flight from Toronto to Zurich are back since August 5th with 3 different flights per week, which is great news. So we hope to welcome you soon on board.
So now let's imagine that you did just board and are now en route to Switzerland. As you can see, we have 2 international airports, Zurich in the German-speaking part and Geneva in the French part. And Lausanne, today's final destination, is less than 1 hour from Geneva and only just 2 hours from Zurich. Lausanne is very well situated directly on Lake Geneva. And since we do have the local experts eagerly waiting in Lausanne, I'd like to hand over to our host, Davy, and his guest speakers for today's talk show from their live studio.
Welcome everybody here live from the studio in Lausanne, here in the Lausanne Palace. So I am Davy, I'm head of sales and convention and promotion at the Lausanne Tourism Office. And I'm here today together with Thierry, my co-hosts.
Hi, Davy.
Nicolas, hello, welcome.
Hi,
gentlemen. And thank you very much for being here with me today on the stage.
Thank you too.
Thank you. Now, Lausanne, the Olympic capital. Now, some of you might wonder why actually Lausanne is the Olympic capital. Well, it's because Lausanne is housing since over 100 years the International Olympic Committee's worldwide headquarters. And it gained this title of Olympic capital since 1994. The Olympic Games are over. Soon the Paralympic Games will start. Well, here in the city, we have the Olympic spirit all year long. And that's because, thanks to actually the one and unique Olympic Museum, which you can see right behind me here, which is also a great venue to host events. Lausanne. Did you actually know that Lausanne has been elected as first ever city, best small city in the world by the journalists of Monaco? Now, the criteria of this election were based on the number of inhabitants, so that has to be less than 200,000. Second criteria was based on the quality of living for the inhabitants, and the third criteria is on the cultural offering for the visitors. As you can see here, Lausanne is located at the shores of Lake Geneva, right in the middle of the lake. With Geneva right here at the right-hand side from the lake, like Caroline said, it takes less than 1 hour, so it's a 40-minute train drive from the airport right to the city center. And we have Montreux right here at the left-hand side of the lake, which takes about 20 minutes by train. We here today in the studio, we are right over here in the Lausanne Palace, close to the old city center and right next to the vibrant city center where all the restaurants and nightlife is happening. Now, before we start with an update of what is happening here in the city, we'll first have a flight through Lausanne. So fasten your seatbelts. So Thierry, thank you very much for having us here in the Lausanne Palace, but this is not the only property that you operate, right?
That's right. We manage not less than 4 hotels in Lausanne for a total of 430 rooms split on 4 hotels. So right now we are live from the studio at the Lausanne Palace, 140 rooms and suite, a member of leading hotels of the world, right in the heart of the city center of Lausanne. The Hotel Angleterre and Residence, a 4-star boutique hotel with 75 rooms at the shores of Lake Geneva. Also at the lake, the Chateau d'Ouchy, 50 rooms, a member of small luxury hotels in an actual medieval 12th century tower. And last but not least, our flagship, of course, the iconic Beau Rivage Palace, 168 rooms and suites, a member of the leading of the hotels of the world, and that is ranked every year among the best hotels in Switzerland and in Europe. The hotel is a destination in itself. It's the ideal choice for an incentive group. It's got its own park of 10 acres, lots of facility, lots of space, and it's also a hotel that we are happy to, for private takeovers. We've done this in the past and we're happy to consider it. A good size from 80 to 100 rooms and up to 200 participants.
Yeah, thank you. Now, the first big news today, it's a huge milestone actually for you guys. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, that's right. The hotel celebrates its 160th anniversary. This year was inaugurated in 1861. and became very quickly one of the favorite destinations for European royalty and aristocracy. Since then, it's kept welcoming world leaders, crowned heads, artists, and celebrities. The hotel also has seen peace treaty signings. We've hosted G8 summits, and more recently in 2015 and 16, the Iran and US delegations chose the Beau Rivage Palace to conduct negotiation on Iran nuclear program, which were then led by John Kerry.
Yeah. Since the pandemic, a lot of things have been happening also. Can you reveal us of what is happening and what is coming ahead?
Absolutely. We've taken advantage of this strange time to anticipate and to accelerate our renovation programs. We first started with the spa, the award-winning 5 Mondes Spa, which was completely renovated and reopened last year. At the same time, we started the renovation of all the rooms and the suites in the Beau Rivage wing, which is super exciting news. It means that from at the end of this year, the beginning of 22, we'll have a fully renovated programs at the Beau Rivage Palace at the top of its game for 2022.
Yeah, so definitely a venue to rediscover again.
Absolutely.
Now, 160 years means a lot of experiences. Can you just share a few of your favorite Beau Rivage experiences with the public?
With great pleasure. One of my favorite experience, and probably one of the most unique and memorable, will be to attend a gala dinner in the Sandoz room. This heritage-listed Belle Époque jewel is the ultimate venue for a gala dinner or an extravagant social event. Another tip I'd like to share is just to enjoy a glass of Swiss wine on the lobby lounge terrace and enjoy the fresh air, these incredible views. Imagine you sit there and all you look at is lush greenery, crystal clear water, and snow-capped mountains. So it's really a magical experience, and we have lots of spectacular outdoor spaces for planners to make the best use and play around with for their events. Mm-hmm. A last experience that I have to share with all of you today is a sunset cruise on Lake Geneva aboard one of these paddle steamers. Actually, this is Le Montreux. This boat is only a stone throw away from the Beau Rivage, and the Beau Rivage manage and do the catering on it. So it's like a floating restaurant. You can take it over for your groups. Actually, many groups use it as a transfer and to access one of the spectacular venues, off-site venues we have on the lake, while the guests enjoy a pre-dinner drinks on board.
It's a great experience indeed, yeah.
But let's listen to John Oliver, who discovered the Beau Rivage Palace a few years ago during the summit with John Kerry.
Actually extended well past their initial deadline, which is hardly surprising, given that they took place in the Hotel Beau Rivage Palace. And if you think it looks spectacular from the outside, wait till you see their promotional video.
Welcome to the Hotel Beau Rivage Palace. This 15,000 square foot spa is the first of its kind in Switzerland. The hotel's restaurants include Anne-Sophie Pic au Beau Rivage Palace. The 169 elegant rooms and sumptuous suites are spacious, elegant, and exquisitely appointed.
Okay, I'm just going to say it. I want to have sex with that hotel. Not in that hotel, with it.
Let me tell you this, Davy. We are used to clients being excited about the Beau Rivage Palace, but not that excited, not that excited.
Well, you definitely have something to be excited about, of course. Thank you very much, Thierry, for this update. And now I would like to share some of the experience that I really like here in the region. Now, people coming to Lausanne, you definitely have to visit the UNESCO World Heritage Lavaux Vineyards, like you can see here behind me. It's really a must-see destination, and just look at the stunning views and the stunning panorama with the sunset. And there is actually a saying going, which I already heard a couple of times when I was in Zurich, that people traveling from Zurich by train to Lausanne, once they come out of the last tunnel, reaching this area, they just throw away their return ticket because they don't want to go back at home anymore. So I can imagine, I'm living here, so I understand why actually. Now, another experience which really is must do as well here in the Lavaux Vineyards is wine tasting. So there's a lot of wine estates which are in the area here with your groups. A lot of wine growers, they open their cellars where you can organize wine tasting, like in this one here, for instance. This one is Domaine La Croix Duplex. They all have stunning views. It's great areas. And some of the wine growers, they also do more educational wine tasting. Another experience Thierry mentioned before taking the boat from Lausanne. You can take many cruises, and one must do as well is taking a cruise from Lausanne to the Chillon Castle, which is right at the lakefront. From here you can organize themed evening events, themed evening dinners, and then afterwards return back by buses back to the city of Lausanne. Another venue, which is for me one of my favorites as well, is the Glacier 3000. Here you have snow all year round. Several activities that can be done over here, like dog sleighing. There's also the highest peak walk between two peaks in Europe, and it also has the highest alpine roller coaster ride. Just 1 hour drive out of Lausanne. Now, I would like to bring you back to an image that we've seen before, just to show you where those locations are placed according to Lausanne. So the Lavaux area, it's right over here. It's a 10 minutes drive starting from Lausanne. Chillon Castle, so at the end side of the lake. And Glacier 3000 is in this mountain range right over there. So as you can see, it's very close by to the city and really easy to reach. Now, something really new, and for us, which is unique in the world that we want to share with you as an experience, it's happening at the studios of Ballet Béjart. Ballet Béjart has its studios since over 30 years in the city center of Lausanne. And the new experience that they have created since the pandemic is organizing workshops in their studios, which is the unique part actually. So the team of Ballet Béjart, they show you how they work together with the dancers to create their performances, but especially as a team, how they reach perfectionism. During this experience, the participants, your participants, they will not learn how to dance ballet, but it's more the team there. They will explain how the philosophy behind it and how they do it. After the workshop, the participants, they can watch to the rehearsals and they really are close to the dancers. Best size for these workshops are from 25 to 50 people. They can host up to 120 people during the rehearsals, but that is done in another setting, of course. First clients they already had with the first returns were going from incredible to even flabbergasted, especially from people who were not really into ballet before. So even if you're not a fan of ballet, this is really a must do as well. Now, from creative people, we're going to the next topic of today, which is innovation. Did you actually know that Lausanne is a university city? QS Top Universities, which is London-based, has ranked Lausanne as the 19th best university city in the world out of a list of 150. Lausanne entered into this listing as the first time this year. San Francisco has its Health Valley. Well, here in Lausanne, we have the San Francisco, has its Silicon Valley. Well, here in Lausanne, we have the Health Valley, we have the Nutrition Valley, and we also have the Cybersecurity Valley. A lot of startups are being created and a lot of new companies are being created over here. And that's why I'm really happy to welcome again Nicolas on stage with me, because talking about new companies, the venue that you are representing, a new conference venue called Millennium, is brand new. Its building is being finished as we speak in a way. So a lot of innovation also has been implemented into the building. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. Millennium is a crazy project since 6 years building. The different point about the innovation. The first point is the glass, the windows are intelligent. It's a smart green building. It's a new conference center in Switzerland and in Europe. The glass can tint automatically with the sunlight. With the sunlight. This is the first big point of new technology in the world. And the second point is the way of thinking events production difference. I mean, my goal is to join all the jobs about the production, event production, catering, crew, restaurant, audiovisual production, and different services, all the services that you can need to organize an event. So at the end, it's an event agency inside the venue. It's a new difference.
Which is a huge advantage, of course, having everybody and everything on site, of course.
Yeah, sure.
Now, as it's a new building, definitely there must be a lot of sustainable initiatives being put in place as well. Can you just tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, just few points. Heating and cooling system recover energy from the combustion of waste. We have solar panels, And all the particularity of the location are full integrated, again, with the audiovisual production. So the goal is to reduce truck with a TV screen, sound system on the road. The goal is to integrate a lot of equipment in this building.
Which is really important as well, of course. Now, what kind of events can be hosted in your venue?
We can provide different size of events. The first one is a public show as a production agency of a concert for the concert theater. The second one is the MICE event with the Congress Center. We have the club discotheque that you can see behind me. And at the end, you can organize plenary session in the auditorium, in the Grand Theater with the 500 seated, with a big LED screen, huge LED screen, and all the technology tracking with the lighting and the camera and video tracking. So you can organize plenary, gala dinner in a big ballroom for 400 people. And after you can organize the after dinner in the club. Yeah. So it's a really complete offer.
Yeah, really complete offer, as you say. And so what is the ideal client then for Millennium?
So the clients who need the high level or audiovisual technology and all this universe of technology is with the smart controlling. I mean, we want to use the bring your home device for the plenary or the meeting room, in the meeting room. And the client who want a total experience, I mean, the restaurants are Fabien Foire, meilleur ouvrier de France, is in charge of all the restaurant and all the catering production.
Yeah. So just remind us, when are operations starting for the venue?
Conference center, meeting rooms next September, October this year, and the huge theater and the ballroom and the club, the discotheque, and at the beginning of 22. Sorry.
Great. So Nicolas, thank you very much for being here with me on stage today to show us your new venue, which is opening now in a few weeks' time, actually.
Thank you for your invitation.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
So now there's another last experience. Actually, time is fast, is going by so fast. And there's a last experience I would like to share with you. For bigger groups, privatizing a hotel, it's something which is already unique. But what do you think about privatizing an entire village? So this is something that we have been able to do with the village of Grandvaux, which is in the vineyards. So you can see it right behind me. We had 600 people walking through the village, going from one wine estate to the other wine estate to eat and drink, and with animations in the street. So this is really something which is not common, right? So actually time has flown very fast. And I would like to thank both gentlemen, my co-hosts, for being here with me today. Welcome back on stage, guys. I also would like to thank Timothy and his team from the company Vector.com for all the audio and technical aspects of this talk show today. Thank you, guys. And also, of course, thank you to the public for listening to us. So, Caroline, also a big thank you to the team in the US. And now the floor is yours, and we will stay here for the questions and answers afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you from our side here in New York, directly to the Lausanne crew. It's been super exciting for us to work on this joint talk show together and to learn about all this technology behind the scene. There's always more that we can learn on that. So I'm not sure about you, but definitely I can't wait to go back and revisit some of these wonderful venues and renovations. And of course, also to discover the Millennium live in one of my favorite destinations. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. We keep monitoring that and are happy to move on to Switzerland in general.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Caroline. Now we would like to give you a quick update on Switzerland and how you can enter our beautiful country. As announced at the beginning of our SwissTalk, Switzerland is open again, but different entry requirements apply. So if you or your groups are from the US and travel to Switzerland, you can either enter Switzerland if you are fully vaccinated, you recovered from COVID within the last 6 months, or you have a negative PCR test or a negative rapid antigen test. And additionally, you need an entry form filled out when you enter Switzerland prior to boarding. And if you travel from Canada to Switzerland, Switzerland is currently only open for fully vaccinated individuals. And when you return to North America, you will need to show a negative test prior of boarding your plane when going back to your country. And I'm also happy to announce that our government has created a platform which is called Travel Check, which is available for anyone around the world. And on this platform, you can check whether and under what conditions you can enter Switzerland. And you can find the link to this platform on this slide here.
Thank you. And now that you know about the entry regulations, we would like to give you a quick update on the current situation within Switzerland. So over 50% of the population is now fully vaccinated. Everything is open again, and you can easily visit and travel throughout the country. However, wearing a mask is in a closed public space is obviously mandatory there. And what are the events regulations? So if you are fully vaccinated, which you need to be to enter Switzerland anyway, there are no limits in number of packs attending an event. And then we would also like to draw your attention to our clean and safe label again. So it's Switzerland Tourism that launched this label last year, and with the objective that all the tourism service providers respect the safety protocols in order to guarantee the safety for everyone during this pandemic. So we are aware that the situation can change quickly. We all know that, to be flexible and adapt. And so therefore, what we're trying to do is keep our website up to date on a regular basis as soon as the government releases any updates.
Thank you so much, Caroline, for all this information. And we see that we also had some questions coming in our chat box, which we would like to address briefly now. So Caroline, would you like to start?
Sure, let me just see what this, Rosemary is asking, what month of the year is least busy in your tourism industry? A good question. We have a good answer for that. It really depends what type of group you're bringing in with what purpose, because it depends where you go. It's not necessarily the same low season. What I'm trying to say is, if you want to go to the mountain resort, obviously the winter is the high season, you're going to have higher prices, but you could easily then stay in, say, for example, Lausanne, that is so close to the mountains, which is then a lower season, and you get better rates on that. I don't know if maybe Lausanne wants to step in and correct me if I'm wrong, but.
Indeed, Caroline, like you said, according to the mountains, we have the opposite seasonality actually. So when it's high season for the mountains, it's more low season for the cities, and vice versa for sure. Before pandemic, of course, we had the classical high season month, the business month. Now we have to see, of course, how it's going to be with the recovery, of course. Maybe Thierry, for your hotels, do you have a specific season which is more on the low season side as well, other than?
No, it's typically what you said. We're just opposite from the mountain, although we're only 45 minutes from ski slopes.
Yeah.
So yeah, bear that in mind, right? I mean, very often we have like groups and they say, you know, we want to have the mountain experience, but they only have half a day. So why don't you stay down in the city and then do your excursion and have the better rates and put the budget into the activities and the hotel F&Bs rather. And then if we just look, I just see the name of the village of the private experience. So that was Grandvaux, Grandvaux. And there's other villages too. I mean, Grandvaux is one of them, right? But then I'm sure you've heard of Gruyère, where the cheese comes from. So that's another village that is easily accessible from Lausanne that you can privatize for your event, which is wonderful. It's this little medieval village on top of the mountain. And just driving up there is amazing. And once you are in the village is yours. You know, you dine on the street, the locals are coming out, you have the Alphorn playing, you have the logo projection on the buildings. It's stunning.
I see there is another question from Rosemary. I believe there was another question before. Sorry. You want to answer for the COVID test question? Yeah.
I could address the question of the COVID test. Someone is asking, can you get a COVID test at Zurich Airport, or would you need to get one earlier for return to the US? And you will need a negative PCR test taken within the last 72 hours before returning to the US, or a negative rapid antigen test, which you can take within 48 hours before boarding your plane. And there are also test locations at Zurich Airport, but there are also a lot of locations in the city. And yeah, if you do a PCR test, we actually recommend you doing that a few days before, so you will have your result before boarding the plane.
Yeah, and then there's a question about the Olympic Museum. Is the Olympic Museum closed any dates of the year?
So the museum itself is closed on Mondays. However, the conference facilities and the events facilities are open all year round. What the museum is also doing, especially for evening events, they also privatize the museum itself. So while before the aperitif or before the dinner starts, people also can go through the museum all by themselves and privatize alone.
Perfect, thank you. So we don't have any more questions coming in right now. If you do, please continue writing them. We can answer them also independently. But just before we wrap up, Maite would also like to give you a quick update on a hotel.
Exactly, thank you, Caroline. Thank you to everyone for all these interesting questions. Indeed, we're delighted to announce to you that the Swiss Hotel in Basel that you can see on the slide is being renovated and rebranded and will become a Marriott by mid-2022. And if you would like to know more about Basel, or if you would like to have more update about this wonderful city, we highly recommend you to join us at our next SwissTalk called This is Basel in October the 6th. So don't miss out.
Thank you, Maite. So we hope we sparked your interest in our SwissTalk with Basel coming up. And again, we'd like to thank you for joining us today. And of course, our special thanks are going out to Davy, Thierry, Nicolas, and the entire video crew that has showed us what is waiting for us. And we know that you guys are ready there to welcome any future groups coming up, hopefully soon again. And on this side of the pond, I'm sure all our clients are agreeing we can't wait to travel abroad again and to visit you. You have definitely whet our appetite with all the various excursion trips and what the city has to offer, for sure. So thank you so much for taking the time for doing this talk show with us. And yes, we hope we can all soon meet up whenever we can. If it's not before, then hopefully latest at IMEX. We are hoping.
Yeah, and I believe someone asked about the PCMA convening. It's taking place in person here in Lausanne.
Indeed, yes. Yep, it's taking place still, and subscriptions are going really high. So we are expecting more people than was initially foreseen. And it's taking place from the 17th until the 19th of October, right here in Lausanne. So yeah.
Great. So with that and the Swiss timing, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us. It's been fun. We hope you enjoyed it, and take care, everyone. Don't hesitate to reach out to the Lausanne team or us here in New York, and we'd be happy to assist you with any questions you may have. So take care, and thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. And I think we found ourselves a new job as well, in case of.
Yeah, and for you, it's time to go and enjoy one of these good Swiss wines.
We'll definitely do.
Absolutely. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you, Caroline.
Bye.
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 Thank you, team.
Bye.
Bye.